Hello and welcome to this week's weekly psychic forecast video for week commencing the 29th of August 2022. So as always, we will begin with an overview of the week, then we will go day by day, finishing up with a spiritual guidance message at the end. And I just want to introduce my crystals to you today in case you're wondering what these were. So we've got two little quartz crystal Merkabas on the end. I was very drawn to these today, and I think you'll see why when we get to the spiritual guidance cards. It all makes sense. It all resonates beautifully this week. And we've got a clear quartz point, which is seen better days. I know how it feels. We have a piece of angelite, selenite, celestite. These are very angelic crystals. I use these in my angelic healing. And then a smoky quartz point, which I really love because there's that gorgeous little window there. I love working with that one. Very powerful crystals that I often use with my cards. So let's dive on in and begin with the overview of this week. Okay, so this week's cards, we have the Ace of Winter. We have Intuition and Manifestation. And we have number 66, the White Raven Spirit. Let me see if I can bring that in. There we go. And we also have from my own deck, we've got a couple of cards here as well. How can you build on this and learn to rest, not to quit? Now, this is a very important theme that's going on for this week. It is all about manifestation. It is all about trusting in our own power, in our ability to create, our ability to manifest, our ability to, I don't want to say change the world, I want to say create the world that we want for ourselves. And it is kind of individual as well as on a community level, because many of us don't feel like we're going with the crowd at the moment. We don't feel as though we want to go with the crowd or with the community. Feels like humanity is kind of splitting into different groups. And I talked about this in my podcast back in 2020, I think, when I was talking about the great separation, as I was calling it, people going energetically in very different directions. And it's becoming more and more obvious on a much more practical, tangible level now. So we are being told, you know, our manifestation is absolutely on fire this week. We're very much empowered to achieve what we want to achieve, to do what we want to do, and we have to trust that it is coming, even if we haven't seen the results or haven't seen all the results yet. We must trust that and keep going. And the Ace of Winter in this deck is all about not being deterred by challenges along the way, implementing new ideas, because the new ideas are amazing. They're fantastic. Why would you not do that? You know, and how can you build on that idea? How can you make it bigger? How can you make it more sustainable? And I mean that in the good way, not in the Agenda 2030 sustainable way, which is why on this card, it's interesting, this one got numbered number 44. Which is very, very concrete numbering. And I gave it the infinity symbol, which is also an 8 on its side, and 4 plus 4 is 8. So there's that beautiful 4 and 8 energy that comes through that one. But also learn to rest, not to quit. If you need a break, take a break, but don't give up. Keep going, keep pushing. I was reminded a video came up on my Instagram feed, you know, as they do, reels come up and you get little snippets, little sound bites of information. And it was just a motivational speaker reminding me that, you know, people who succeed are the people who outlast everybody else. It feels on some level that there may be a theme of needing to outlast other people, to keep pushing, keep going, keep advancing your own ideas, your own dreams, your own ideals. Keep working towards it. There's no need to give up. There is no need to step back and to let somebody else take the reins. This is your life at the end of the day now. And it is very important that we really remember, you know, we are front and centre in our own lives. We are the main character in our life story. And I think it's incredibly important that we hold on to manifesting what we want for our future. And I don't necessarily mean that in a tangible way, although it may be tangible, you know, very basic things that we're manifesting. We might need a home. We might need, you know, things to eat. We might need money. We may need friends, family, you know, someone to love, someone to take care of. We may want children. You know, there's all these things that we want, and we absolutely can create it on that very creational number 3 here. And number 3 is the divine blueprint. Yes, we absolutely can create this week, but we've got to remember to keep going no matter how things look, and that's the key to getting what we want. So let's move on to Monday's cards now. We'll have a look. So for Monday, we have number 7, the Chariot. We have number 8, Intention, Discovery. Interesting that I went to intention instead of discovery on that one, so we'll just bear that in mind. And also 46 Peacock Spirit, Let It Shine. Now it's very noticeable to me the amount of indigo colour we have here, so I feel very much that there's a connection to the third eye chakra on Monday. That seems particularly important, so it may be that your spiritual abilities, your psychic abilities are heightened. I'm just going to take a card from my own deck here just to build on that a little bit. And it's interesting because we have the Chariot here, which is about forging forwards, and it does take a lot of energy and a lot of strength to keep going when you're trying to manage these out of control dragonflies. Okay. It's a fairy deck, dragonflies, not horses, as you see in a traditional tarot deck. But it is about being able to achieve things, being able to accomplish things, discovering just how powerful we are when we are intentional about our ideas, when we get very intentional about what it is that we want and what it is that we want to show the world, who we want to be, how we want to stand up and be counted. And there is a reminder here about self-sovereignty with that beautiful crown on that regal peacock's head on that transformative 4610. So transformation is possible, but we must get very, very intentional about what we're doing. Oh yes, and there is a reminder, cat energy, that's one of my favourite cards. There is a reminder here to stay grateful as well, to show gratitude for everything that we receive and all the things that we expect to receive, that we anticipate to receive. As you know, in manifesting, you say thank you before it shows up. When you ask angels to help you, you say thank you before you see the results of their help, before immediately when you ask for the help, you say thank you as if it had already happened, because on some level it has, but we live in linear time, so we don't always see it straight away. So cat energy is very interesting. I added this card into the deck. It's a bit of a fun card and it has many aspects to it, but in this particular context, for me, it's about living your life on your terms, because cats very much do that. They're very independent and they very much live life on their terms. You'll know if your cat wants something. You'll know if your cat doesn't want to do something. Have you tried training your cat? Good luck with that. I've just about managed to train mine to sit, but he'll only do it when he wants to do it. It is very much about living life on your terms, being very intentional about what you will and won't do, but also maintaining great control over your life through wisdom, through having the wisdom to know that, no, what I say is what's going to happen here. Yes, I understand that you'd like that, but I don't want to do that. That doesn't align with my values. That doesn't align with what I want to achieve, where I want to go in this lifetime. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. So be the cat on Monday. That's the message. Be the cat. Remember to give thanks for your many blessings, because we do have so many. And it's a very, very beautiful, very powerful and intuitive energy there as well. I feel our psychic ability is going to be heightened, our intuition's heightened. It's a good day for meditation, contemplation, manifesting work, which is absolutely a theme for the whole of the week. And it actually shows up in the spiritual guidance cards as well, which I thought was some beautiful synchronicity there as well. So it's going to be an interesting day. It may be a time to actually shine in the workplace as well, to stand up and be counted, or to stand up on the stage in some way and actually be seen in some sort of public arena. So it's going to be an interesting day. So we're going to move on to Tuesday now. So Tuesday's cards, we have number 14, balance. We have number 2, your higher self. And we have number 54, skunk spirit. Know your worth. Okay, interesting day. Now, the words that come to me here for Tuesday is very much, it's know your worth, but it's remember who you are. That's what I want to say. The words just came in and flew out and then flew back in again. It's remember who you are. And you may need to be still in order to do that and change the record. Oh, yes, okay. So this is all about coming back into balance, coming back into union, divine union with who you truly are, to that higher aspect of self, what we might call soul or higher self. It's very, very important right now that you start to march to the beat of your own drum and realise that your ideas, values, needs, concerns, beliefs are just as valid as anybody else's, and no one gets to tell you what's right for you. Equally, you don't get to tell other people what's right for them either. There is an element of compromise there that comes in with the balance card, but it's about freedom. It's the freedom that comes from balance, of everyone having the same right as everyone else. It's about equality, not a quality of outcome, because you just can't have that, but a quality of chance, I want to say. And I want to say on Tuesday, beware of your thoughts. And this is where the change the record card comes in. Many of us have picked up thought patterns which are really unhelpful. You know, we instinctively think, oh, that's just my luck. Oh, bad things always happen to me. You know, that kind of negative thought patterns that we picked up from our family, from school, our community, whomever. But they're not actually true. They're just things that we say. And unfortunately, they help to manifest things that we don't want, because we repeat them over and over and over and over again until we believe them. So I want to say, be very mindful of your thoughts. It's a good day to actually sit down and watch your mind, be very attentive to what you're thinking, what your mind is thinking, because you are not your mind, and you can quite easily become the observer of the mind, which gives you a lot more power and a lot more... I want to say, for some reason, I want to say unity with self again. That's coming through. My guides really want to say that. But it gives you a lot more choices in how you actually live your life and in what you manifest as well. And you do need to be still in order to do that. There is absolutely a need for stillness, whether it's meditation, yoga, contemplation, or just sitting quietly and being the observer of the mind, practicing mindfulness. If you haven't read Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, I very, very strongly recommend it. You know, I'm always going on about that book. It's great. So revisit it, or visit it for the first time if you haven't read it before. So it is a day, it can be quite reflective. I think Tuesday can be quite a self-reflective day. It's not necessarily one where, you know, we may feel dynamic or that we want to get going. It's more a case of reconsidering our options and remembering just how important our opinions, our desires and wants are. And that may be within a relationship, it may be within a job, or it may just be within our lifestyle. We may want to really reassess how things are and what it is that we truly want to do moving forwards. And that's extremely important at the moment. So let's move on to Wednesday now. We'll take a look at Wednesday's cards. So Wednesday we have the Ace of Summer. We have, cycle decrease. Okay. And we have the Deer Spirit. Interesting, we've got another number 18 card coming in there. We just had that yesterday with Be Still. Okay, so my energy is kind of dropped as I've pulled these cards. My energy is kind of taken a little bit of a slump there, and you can probably hear it in my voice. It feels a little bit less loud and it feels a little bit slower, and I've sort of slumped a little bit in my chair as I pulled these cards. So the energy is less vigorous on Wednesday, I want to say. There may be some tiredness in the system, and it is with this decrease card, it's kind of like a little dip in the energy. We may not really feel up to doing very much, and I want to say to be very gentle with yourself on Wednesday. It may be a day where you really don't feel up to doing very much at all, or you may feel like you're starting again from square one, which could be very challenging, you know, in whatever part of your life. I'm just going to bring in a couple of cards from my message deck. So we've got get up and go do the thing. Okay, Sovereign Being. Yeah, so you may well be feeling a little bit fragile, like you want to be a bit easy on yourself, but that doesn't mean you should give up. There are still things that you need to do. There are still things that you need to follow through with in order to achieve your goals. So it's definitely not a day to give up. And there is the reminder here, I love the Sovereign Being card. You know, you are all powerful. You are the sovereign being of your life. You know, you are a sovereign being. No one is above you. No one is better than you. Okay. You are that beautiful spark of the divine. You are that divine being, that divine aspect, if you like, of God, of goddess, of everything. And there is a very strong reminder there that, you know, you are that, but also sometimes it's okay to have a little bit of a break and go a little bit slower than usual, or than perhaps you might want to go. So I do want to say, try and find some peace on Wednesday if you can, some quiet. It'd be nice to do some meditation. If you can take the day off, yeah, that might be useful. But if you really can't, which I feel is quite likely, you may just have to push on, but go easy on yourself. Go gentle, but keep going anyway. It's like when you're running a race, and I've never run a marathon. I cannot run to save my life. I have zero natural aptitude for any kind of long distance running. But when you're walking, I do know about walking. When you're walking, sometimes you can walk faster, you know, when you're doing like a long walk. I used to do long walks in the countryside. Sometimes you can go faster, and sometimes you need to take a bit of a slower pace. This is a slower paced day. So it's not a day to stop. It's not the day to give up. And it may be actually a day of new beginnings as well, or of new levels of understanding of other people. I think maybe if you're feeling a little bit weaker, you might understand more where somebody else is coming from, somebody else that perhaps you thought was lazy or stupid. So there's definitely an opportunity here for understanding other people's point of view, as well as we slow down a little bit in the energy. So ultimately, I think it's a useful day. Just be aware that you may not be feeling on top of the world, so it might not be the day to do a 10k race. Okay, so let's move on to Thursday now. Okay, so Thursday's cards, we have the Two of Spring, we have Family, Friends and Guides, and we have Swan Spirit. Time for a deep dive on that very wise number 60. That's a very interesting energy. It's a very gentle energy too, but it comes in with a huge amount of wisdom, and it talks to me about co-creating with your spirit guides now, because this week is all about creating the life that you want, manifesting the life that you want. You know, this isn't about anybody else. This is just about you. You can't manifest for anybody else. You can only do it for yourself. So what are you going to manifest for your life? What is that going to look like? How are you going to be a role model for other people? How are you going to manifest a bright future for yourself? What steps do you need to take to do that? So it has something of a planning feel to it, on quite a wise 66 energy here. And there are some choices, some things to think about. It's also a very good day for collaboration, I want to say, on Thursday. But playtime's over now. And you are loved. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a day where spiritually, and perhaps with your own spirit guides, you know, with your spiritual path, it's kind of time to get a bit serious and get serious with your manifesting. The energy today is really pushing us to get very clear, very serious about what it is, what we want in life and where we want to go, and actually do it and get going with it. But there is this huge reminder here that we are so loved. And I think it's very difficult for many people in the world at the moment, because so many terrible things seem to be happening. Things seem to be out of our control. As a collective, we feel, you know, we may feel very disempowered at the moment, as if we're being unfairly treated, and that, you know, the people at the top are being dishonest perhaps, or running away with all the toys and leaving us with less and less and less every year. And I think it's perfectly okay to feel that way. But I want to bring in the reminder today that it doesn't have to be that way for you. Okay, if other people choose to join in with the collective energy and have that difficult experience, that's down to them. You don't have to. Okay, you don't have to. And like I said, this week is all about manifesting. It's all about being very clear in your energy and rising above it, gliding gracefully over the surface of the water like a swan. Okay, you don't have to be dragged under and get caught up in the pondweed. Okay, you can glide over this difficult energy. You can get through this very difficult time in humanity's history, okay, without too much trouble, without too much problem here. It doesn't have to be difficult. It really doesn't. And I have just one last card here, which is on 53.8, which is achievements come in all shapes and sizes. Okay, so I just want to remind you all here that exactly that. Achievements come in all shapes and sizes, you know, and success looks different for everyone. Things that we consider to be success, we consider not to be success. And I think because we live in this very Western, very materialistic society where a lot of spirituality has been either forgotten or has become very narrow-minded, I think, which is difficult, with a lot of dogma and very specific rules that you have to follow or you're wrong or, you know, outcast. I think we forget that. I think we forget just what we're able to achieve, to do, to experience, and the positivity that can come from all our different goals, experiences, and the things that we choose to do. So have a look at your achievements, and it may be about thinking about how you can achieve spiritual growth. It may be about wanting to achieve growing your own food, you know, finding ways to subvert the crushing system that is desperately trying to destroy us at the moment. There are so many ways we can achieve that. Okay, there's not just one way we can do things or another way we can do things. You know, forget the whole two-party system nonsense. That's little more than a puppet show when it comes down to it. Think about creative ways, creative endeavours that we can come up with to actually safeguard ourselves, our families, and our future, your future. What are you going to do? Sit with your spirit guides and really, really feel into that, meditate on that, and see where it takes you. And feel the love from your spirit guides as well. It doesn't have to be difficult if you don't choose that. Oh, that's interesting. My selenite rolling around there. Selenite is a very feminine crystal. It's a crystal associated with the moon, with the goddess. So that's interesting. Wanted to come out to play there. So now we move on to Friday. Friday's cards. We have the Eight of Spring. We have the Sacred Temple. And we have Lion Spirit. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. I love lions. Aren't they gorgeous? He looks like Bedford, doesn't he? I don't think Bedford's going to be making an appearance. He's asleep on my chair downstairs at the moment, I'm afraid. But he sends his love. So, right. So, Eight of Spring, stress, Sacred Temple, be generous of spirit. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a deep card. Don't try to force it. So it's interesting at the moment, because what I was saying, and this is what I feel for Friday, you may feel something of a rushed energy, like I have to do this, I have to hurry up, I have to get that done, I have to do this because this person said that that's the only way to get through this time. Oh, I have to buy cryptocurrency, or I have to buy gold and silver, or I have to go live in a commune, or what, I have to get this medication or that medication, whatever it is that you're feeling very stressed about, very hurrying. There's this very rushed energy. Maybe people are trying to push you to do things that you're really not sure about, but they're telling you, no, you have to do this or you won't survive. Or you really, really have to do this, or we won't accept you anymore. And I think it's very important. There's a very deep spiritual message here today, which is, what is truth and where does it lie? What is your truth in all of this situation today on Friday? What is your truth? What is the truth? What is truth? What even is truth? Okay? Other than what somebody says it is or what somebody observes it to be. And that can be extremely subjective. Okay? So there's it feels like a building of the sacred temple comes in on Friday, and it's like the sacred temple of your truth. What is it for you? And that can change. It doesn't have to stay stuck, stay the same forever, stay static. It can absolutely grow. And I feel that there's a real message of understanding for other people, and this very generous, loving lion spirit coming in here, which is just off the back of Leo season, which we've just exited, and we are moving into Virgo season now. But there's still of this very generous, loving, summery, sunny energy on Friday that reminds us that, yeah, we won't agree with everybody about everything, and that's okay. We don't have to try and force people to come round to our opinion for everyone to be all right. We can be all right and still disagree on things. We can be friends and still disagree on things. I mean, you can be married to someone and still disagree on things. Believe me, you are not going to agree on everything if you're married. Oh yeah, that doesn't follow. Although there are so many people, and I don't know if it's social media companies or who is kind of trying to push this projection onto us that, oh, you can't be friends with someone unless you agree on absolutely everything. So people have to agree with you. Otherwise, it's some sort of personal affront and it's some sort of personal injury that you suffer if somebody doesn't agree with you about absolutely everything. Oh, my goodness. Which is putting the locus of control completely outside of you, which is going to make you feel terrible and very stressed. So totally unhelpful. And our last card here is Feathers from Heaven. I absolutely love this one, and I love how it came out on top of the spirit card, the Sacred Temple. I'm just going to put it there like that. So there's so much love and angelic assistance coming in on Friday. So if you've asked for help to sort out disputes that you're having with other people, if you've asked for angelic help, in your family, workplace, friendships, in your local government, whatever it is, the help is there, the assistance is coming in, and it comes in on a very transformative energy of 4610. Everything's possible. I want to say everything is possible and nothing is impossible. So look out for white feathers on Friday, because I think the angels are going to make themselves known. If you do feel afraid or need to call out to Archangel Michael, do remember to do so. He is absolutely there for you at any time. But just try to be a little bit generous with other people, because people are really buying into a lot of fear at the moment, which is completely unnecessary. And I think sometimes the best thing that we can do, the grandest thing that we can do, is to really give people the benefit of the doubt and to come in and be a reassuring, kind and understanding presence when everyone else is losing their shit. So let's move on to Saturday now. Okay. So on we go. Selenite's getting very excited over there again. Saturday's cards, we have the Queen of Summer. That's a lovely energy to end the summer out. We have the healing light. And we have number 53, the seahorse spirit, 53-8. I love that numerology on there because the seahorse kind of makes the shape of the 8, the infinity symbol there. So there's very much a feeling of nothing ever ends. So there's no rush. So watch and wait to see what happens. You know, you may be a little bit surprised. There's a very healing energy coming in on Saturday, very loving. I want to say cooperative energy coming in on Saturday. So you might be surprised at who actually steps up, who wants to help other people, and who is ready to talk finally. It may be a moment to have a difficult conversation. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, okay. So a reminder's coming in from my message cards here that, yeah, the road is long and we're just walking each other home. I think it was, I forget who said that, maybe it was Ramdas. But the road is long, okay? Our life isn't over in a couple of days. We're not damselflies, you know. We're going to be here for a while yet. So, you know, it's kind of in our best interests to cooperate with other people, to work with other people, you know, to watch and wait, to not make rash decisions. You know, we can make quick decisions if we're sure, but not to be rash. And to really understand that most people, when they act in ways that we don't appreciate, that are hurtful or harmful to others or selfish, they're coming from a place of pain. They're coming from a place of lack of healing. They're coming from their own pain inside, which is driving them to make that decision, however misguided, however unhelpful or hurtful that is to other people. And it feels very much today like that's kind of a theme that will be coming to the fore. I think it will be quite noticeable in other people. And I think that brings greater levels of understanding. It brings greater levels of kindness. We can show kindness to other people. And like we were saying on Friday's energy as well, you know, understanding that we don't all have to agree and we can give people the benefit of the doubt. The energy kind of goes a step further onto Saturday, and it reminds us that actually we can all help to heal each other. You know, we can all be there, we can support each other with kindness. And we don't have to force other people to be supported, because if they don't want that support, they don't have to have it. That's absolutely fine. But the Kundalini Rising card, wow, that's a very disruptive spiritual energy that comes in on Saturday. And I feel there may be some awakenings, or we may feel like we're going to the next level spiritually, or our abilities are just kind of going off the charts, you know, which is very exciting indeed. Or there may be some astrological events happening, astronomical events or something happening in the sky that'll be quite interesting as well today, on Saturday. So I think that's interesting, but there's definitely this very disruptive energy that comes to kind of push the bucket over and see what happens when it spills everywhere, when the water spills everywhere. So yeah, interesting day. It is a good day for any kind of spiritual practice. I think there'll be some very deep insights that come off the back of Saturday. So maybe time to grab a journal or a diary and actually make some notes about what you see, what you feel, or some experiences that you have. So let's move on to Sunday now. Okay, so Sunday's cards. We actually have 4 for Sunday because 4 wanted to come out. I hope I can fit them all on here. We have the King of Summer. We have the Prince of Autumn. I'll put him up here. There we go. We have Kindred Partnership. And we have Groundhog Spirit. Time to let go. Okay, just move them so you can see all the text there. There we go. Okay. So interesting old energy on Sunday. It is an interesting one. And for some people, it is very much going to be about letting people go. Who is going to stay in your life? Who is not going to stay in your life? Who's just come into your life? It feels, I want to talk about community on Sunday, communities, families, groups, who's coming in, who's going out. So it may be that people are actually passing over to the spirit world as well on Sunday, that there's not exactly a somber feel, but it feels very serious, very serious. It may be time to let go of relationships or friendships that just aren't resonating with you, or maybe actually actively harming you. It may be time to solidify certain partnerships, take them to the next step. And then there is a highlight here for emotional and romantic relationships as well. I think that's going to be under the spotlight on Sunday too. I'll just grab a couple of cards from my message oracle here. Are you aiming too low? I knew that one was going to come out. say yes and see what happens. Now that could be to do with a proposal. And there is no lack. Yes, there is no lack. You don't need to hold on to that person, stay in that relationship, be feeling worried that you won't have enough money if you're not with that person. You don't need them, okay? Not for that reason. That's a terrible reason to stay with someone just because you need their money, okay? Or because you don't feel financially stable. There's definitely a strong reminder there. You don't have to hang around with people who don't resonate or you don't have enough in common with as friends, as loved ones, even family members if you need to take your distance from certain people. Don't stay for the wrong reasons, okay? But equally, when an opportunity arises that you want to take but you're not sure, sometimes it's okay to say yes and see what happens. That can be a very exciting adventure. And number 5 can be a real call to adventure numerologically. And I want to say as well, are you aiming too low? Okay, what do you need to let go of? What are you clinging on to thinking that you need it, thinking that you can't achieve things all by yourself? Okay, because you absolutely can. And it comes in on a very transformational 28-10-1. So again, there's that 10-1 energy of the Wheel of Fortune coming in here. But it comes in on the choice and the reminder that number 8, okay, yes, we are the ones who have to live this lifetime. And 8 can bring great prosperity, but only if we make the right choices. Okay, so 2 can be about choices and balance. We have to choose if we want to do better. If we want more money, we have to make different choices or do things differently. Okay, if we want better conditions or a different life, we have to choose, we have to do things differently. And again, it's that energy this week of manifesting and being very intentional in everything that we do, okay, and not being afraid that there isn't enough in the universe, because goodness knows there is more than enough if we choose to believe it's there. Okay, there is more than enough. There is no lack. Many things are hidden from us at the moment. And I want to say aim higher on Sunday. Aim higher in your spiritual work, in your spiritual practice. Aim higher in everything that you do. And this can actually be a day of real spiritual highs this Sunday. So going to be a very, very interesting one. And I'd be very interested to hear how this goes for you. So we are just going to move lastly on to our spiritual guidance message for the week. So let's get those cards. Right, so we have 2 cards here from the language of light. We have manifestation. Now that was beautiful synchronicity that came out. Okay, and then we have 44, expansion. So we had 44 already on one of the other cards as well, which was from my own deck. So again, there's a theme here. There's definitely a theme going on. There's a lot of synchronicity this week. There's a lot of serendipity happening this week as a whole. And it is going to be an interesting one. But I have got some other cards here as well from the Message Oracle. So we have what you resist healing in yourself persists on that very balancing 22-4. Okay. Taking responsibility for your life brings freedom. That's the real choice here. And Spirit is on the line, answer the call, which comes in on a 35-8. So there's more 8 energy coming in there. So this week has a huge spiritual potential. It's quite a big deal, actually. I want to say it's quite a big deal. And what I was saying about taking full responsibility for your life, all of your decisions, all of your choices, everything, even if you feel, oh, well, that wasn't really my fault. Take responsibility for it anyway. That happened before I was of a certain age. Take responsibility for it anyway. Take responsibility energetically, spiritually. Take full responsibility, and then you are empowered to actually do something about it. And what happened to you in the past may not have been pleasant, may not have been your fault. And, that's okay. You may have been victimized, you may have suffered, and who hasn't, right? But it is absolutely your responsibility to do something about it. And that's the message that comes in this week. There's a very, I want to say, somewhat stern reminder from Spirit in these cards. There's a little bit of a teacher wagging the finger here going, come on, you know how to do this. You know what you've got to do. What are you waiting for? And spiritually, energetically is very much, what are you waiting for exactly? Are you waiting for a written invitation? Because you're not going to get one. Get on with it. There is a kind of a get on with it feel here. And it may feel quite burdensome, the energy this week, like, oh, I've just got so much to do. And I've just taken on an allotment, which if you don't live in the UK, allotment's like a little parcel of land that you rent from the local authority and that you have the right to, to grow fruits and vegetables on. for your own use. And it's not expensive to do. It's a really nice thing if you don't have like a decent garden. And I took this allotment on, and it had been really, really, really neglected by the person who had it previously, who kind of left it in an absolute mess. And I've now got this parcel of land that I have to sort out, which is not going to be easy. And I went down there the other night to start working on it. And some of the weeds are taller than me. You know, I'm like 5'10". Some of the weeds are literally taller than me. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, what have I done? What have I taken on? But at the same time, you know, I'm being reminded, come on, you can do this. This is just the first step. Take it step by step. Take full responsibility. You've decided you were going to have an allotment, Helen. Come on, get on with it. You don't get to quit. You don't get to give up like that other person did because they couldn't be bothered, or they found it too overwhelming to actually do. If you want to achieve the results, you have to do the thing, particularly the thing you don't want to do that you know you really should. That in particular. So there is a little bit of a finger wagging from spirit here, shall we say, in the nicest, most loving possible way. Is a little bit of tough love coming through from the spirit realms this week. I think he said this year, but I mean this year would be accurate as well, to be fair. It really is. But there's so much love that comes with it, and this reminder, come on, just remember how big you are. Start to expand, start to embody your full self, all the higher levels, you know, all the greater aspects of you. Come on, step into them. Come on, you're nearly there. You're so close to that huge expansion, that huge enlightenment, that step towards getting closer to who you truly are, to understanding so much more about the universe. So yeah, we have a big responsibility this week, but it's nothing that we can't handle. So get your boots on, get your gloves on, pick up a spade. It's time to get going. So I hope that was helpful to you. If you have made it all the way to the end of the video, please put the word freedom in the comments below. And if you want to put like an angel emoji as well, that'd be really cool. So freedom in the comments if you made it all the way to the end. If you have any questions, please do put them below. And if you have any interesting experiences this week, you know I love to hear about that. So please do share how this week goes for you. Please do share this video with a friend. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, please. And leave me a comment if there's something that you would like to share with us all, because you know I love to hear from you. And I will see you all again very soon.